Hey everyone, welcome back to the range. Hit that subscribe button if you ever feel like you're Thor when you're out beating on stuff with a hammer. Got an armor test for you today. I've got my clay briefcase that we always use for our backer all pounded back into shape after that 50 BMG test. Our armor panel for choice today, I apologize about the wind. Hopefully it's not too bad on your end. But we have a level 4 ceramic plate from Botach. This is their battle steel line that we're going to test today. As always, for any of my rifle armor that I like to test, I like to stay at the NIJ testing distance of 45 feet, give or take a couple feet depending on how I count it or pull the tape measure out. That way we have a good accurate representation that if it stops it at 45 feet, it's going to stop it at 200 yards. We've also dropped this plate on its face twice per the NIJ standard. I'll put a little picture-in-picture down here so you can see that. We have our Prochrono Digital. It's about 55 to 60 degrees outside and very windy today. We're going to test some of our standard 308 and 5.56 threats at this plate. Give me a few moments to strap this guy to here and get it down range and get the camera set up, and we'll get to rocking. Okay, our first load's going to be M2AP. I actually have these loaded in 300 Win Mag. I have a 24-inch TC compass with a Yankee Hill Phantom M2 suppressor attached. If you haven't watched my channel before and you are curious as to why I load these in 300 Win Mag, it's because the NIJ calls for 2880 feet per second plus or minus 50, and anytime I've tested surplus M2AP and 30-06 out of an M1 Grand or anything, it falls about anywhere from 200 or more feet per second slower than what the NIJ calls for. So what I've done is I basically have duplicated a load that gives me that 2880 feet per second that I need. So the first shot will be the NIJ load, and then we'll go to a overspec load that should be about 200 feet per second faster than that. We'll start on the top left of the plate, hopefully about 2 inches in from each side so we have a good fair hit. We're going to try to put about 6 shots on this plate total, maybe 8. I love disproving the fact that level 4 plate is single hit only when they can take quite a few hits. I again apologize about the wind. Make sure my camera's recording down there. Velocity 2849. So we were within the 50 feet per second variance that were allowed. Hit right where I wanted to. Now we'll do the overspec round. I don't remember how many feet per second above this should give me, but it's going to be like 31 or 3200 feet per second. We'll go for about 2 inches to the right of this shot. .3086. So right about 200 feet per second faster. Let's go check out what we did on the plate first before we continue with any other shots. My oil-based pen is not working so well today, but there's only 2 shots so far on this plate. This was the NIJ load, and this was the overspec. Kind of interesting that we have some ceramic coming out of the side of the plate there. Here's a little bit of the ceramic. It's SiC or silicon carbide, if I'm saying that right. It does like to pepper up my plate. Drop me a comment below if you like dumpster diving at your work for free stuff. I just picked this table up. It's about the perfect height for doing the body armor and gel tests. It's not too tall, it's pretty wide, a little dirty, but for free, not gonna complain. All right, enough talking. Let's see what we did. There is no pass-through. Back of our plate, angry set of frog eyes looking at you. You can tell there's a lot more back face deformation with that over spec round compared to the NIJ spec, but not too much. Give me a second and I'll get the measurement device and give you a measurement here. Now, again, sometimes people find my videos and don't watch any of the previous ones. This clay that I'm using is non-hardening, and if I get it right around 90 degrees Fahrenheit, it will pass the drop test standard for the clay that NIJ uses, but it's like 60 degrees outside and this has been sitting out all night long, so it's hard. So I just use it for a compressible media. But we can kind of compare each side and see which one has more deformation. So the NIJ spec side is right around 22 millimeters, and our over spec is right around 34. We'll get this plate mounted back up and then we'll take some more shots. All right, now we're gonna use another 308 thread. This is 7.62 NATO M993 AP. This is actually tungsten core. What I've been doing now is putting a little macro in the lower left-hand corner, probably next to the chronograph reading, so you can see a close-up of what the bullet looks like, or the core if I have section one. That way I'm not trying to walk over here and get it to focus and barely see it and walk back. I can show you exactly what it looks like. In our prior testing, regular level 4 plate was able to stop this from a 16-inch. This is our CZ 557. Still have the Phantom M2 on there. We'll take a shot on the left side, probably about 2.5 inches below the first shot. We should have good strike face there. If I forgot to mention in the opening of the video, it was probably because I was getting frustrated with the wind. This plate is approximately 5.5 pounds, 0.80 inches thick, so just under an inch thick. It is multi-curve. It does not have any foam on the strike face. Velocity 2812. And while we're at it, before we go down and check out the plate, we'll take a shot of M80A1 through our 22-inch TC compass. This has a 1 in 12 twist barrel. Got the Yankee Hill Phantom M2 still on there. I love their QD mounts. That's as easy as you can get to slap a suppressor onto your next host when you're doing this, so it's a little quieter and easier on the ears to shoot. We should see over 3,000 feet per second from this 130 grain load. Velocity 2989. Let's go down that way. Okay, here was our M993 shot, and here was our M80A1. We are more than 2 inches away from subsequent shots that these should be considered fair hits. We're starting to get quite a bit of ceramic on my brand new table here. The GoPro is still alive, that's a good thing. You guys want to place any bets? Check the back side first. Don't see any on that side. Uh-oh, there's a hole there. I just changed this backer. Uh-oh, penetration. There's our hole. Interesting that that is almost a square. Little more back face than the NIJ load, but not too bad. There's a hole there. Well, I guess this SIC plate was no match for the actual tungsten core. Back face on the M80A1 about 24 millimeters. There's no doubt in my mind that this plate will stop our 5.56 threats, but we have weakened it. We'll step up to the M855A1 and the M193 out of the 22-inch. All right, for our two final bullet choices, we're going to use M193 from Independence and our Lake City M855A1. This is a 55 grain full metal jacket. This is a 62 grain enhanced performance round. It has an exposed steel tip and copper core. This effectively replaces M855. We'll shoot the M193 first. We'll put 2 rounds of each on this plate. And then we'll go see what we did. Our firearm here is a TC Compass. It has a 22-inch 1-in-9 twist. We are in our OR-YX chassis that I've been doing a review on so far. I really like this chassis. Velocity 33.58. That shot was lower left. This one we're going to shoot dead center between the last 4 shots. 3,300. Now our M855A1. .3108. I think I was low on that shot. Yeah. We're going to go for the middle of the last 4 shots. 31-37. We'll go check out what we did. If we didn't have any fair hits, we may have enough on the plate to take a couple more. Okay, starting to make a mess out of this plate. Wish my paint marker worked. This was the first shot of M193 right here. This was the second, a little close to that M993 shot, but there's still a solid piece of the plate there. The first M855A1 was not a fair hit. We are right at the edge. Here was the second one. Give me a second to pull these tabs, straps off here. Hey! Absolutely no pass-throughs. Now, like I said, this one down here was not a fair hit because we were at the edge of the plate. But, backside, there is hardly even a dent in the plate there. There's a little bit of one there, more than likely because there was compromised ceramic there. And polyethylene is actually really good at stopping M193. Impressive. I'd say we got our money out of this plate. This just goes to show how many hits a level 4 plate can take. Now granted, a steel plate could stop a whole bunch of rounds that is actually rated for before you would get a crack or perforation. There seems to be a lot of stigma that ceramic plates are one and done, and that's certainly not the case. I mean, here was an NIJ spec 28, 80 feet per second, over spec. The M993, it didn't stop. M80A1, it stopped. M193 and M855A1. Now, yes, the plate's compromised and needs to be replaced at this point, but if you took this many hits, you'd survive. I'll definitely annotate in the video a little earlier that this is actually not a tile array plate. I saw Mr. Guns and Gear test their level 3 plus plate and I saw some of the tiles come out of it, but this is actually a solid strike face. Now, There is not much left of this plate. I ripped it apart pretty hard to get to this point, but there are no tiles in here. This is a solid strike face. There's the polyethylene backer there. There's the front of it. It is silicon carbide SIC. Here's one of the M2 AP cores, what's left of it. Let me brush this off the table. Well, I don't know about you all, but I'm certainly impressed. This Botach Tactical Battle Steel Level 4 plate was able to stop our NIJ M2 AP as well as the overspec. It stopped our 5.56 threats as well as M80A1. Now the M993 AP threat, even out of the 16 inch, is no joke. This is geared towards being a lightweight plate. Probably if it had a slightly thicker strike face, it probably would stop it, but it's hard to say without testing it. We were wrong in thinking that this was a tile array plate. This is a solid strike face. There is a little bit of foam on the edge, which is typical for plates to protect the outside of the ceramic. So there's not a giant foam ring like we've seen with the tile array, so that's a good thing. Now, I would like to see a high density foam strike face to protect it from being dropped and mishandled, but that's going to add a little bit of thickness and probably a minuscule amount of weight, but it's something they probably should look into if you're going to go for any of the NIJ 06 or coming up with the new NIJ ratings. Botach does offer a level 3+ as well as level 3A soft armor that we can test. We're going to test the 3A in a separate video. If you'd like to see me test the 3+, drop me a comment below and I'll contact them and see about getting one. Mr. Guns and Gear did a pretty good test with those plates. I'd like to thank Botach for sending out these plates for us to test. Now, I did sign up as an affiliate for them, so if you do want to purchase this armor, I'll either leave a link in the description below, or if this is on YouTube, maybe I'll throw it in the comments. So if you click the link and decide to buy some of this armor, this is sub $100 a panel armor. That will help me out, and then I can help you. That M993 shot was basically $30 right there to throw that downrange at this plate. As always, I'd like to thank my Patreon supporters and you all for watching. Until next time, catch you at the range. Alright, now we're going to step up to a 308 threat. What I've been doing lately is I've been putting a little macro shot of the round that I'm going to use down in the low. Stupid wind. Every time I come out here, stupid wind.